Hi everyone, and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back here today with some werewolfy goodness. So first of all, let's check out all the links coming up in chat now. That includes the Discord. We do have a channel just for this. We'd love to hear what you think. Also, if you'd like to get in this game, this is one of our viewer games, so drop Scrat a DM on Twitter and come play with us. If you have missed out on anything, you can head over to YouTube where all of our games are in playlists and catch up over there. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Hero Forge. They do the coloured minis. We're doing some more stuff with them very soon, which I'm super excited about. But go check them out. Also, the wonderful Mayhem Press. You can see tomorrow us using their Fae Folio, but you can now order their Dark Matter in hardback, and it's D&D in space, and it's one of the best things ever, so go check that out. Also, the Deck of Many with the Deck of Many Things and the magic moving spell cards, and their Humblewood, which is incredibly wholesome. Also another one of our viewer games, which you can drop Scrat a DM to play in. And we have a new sponsor, which I'm super excited about, in Dungeon Fog, that help create the world maps and stuff for your game. It's some really interesting stuff. We have some more bits to them coming soon as well. Otherwise, let's go round. Let's say hi to everyone and where we can find you on the wonderful interwebs. And we will start with the very lovely Just a Little Nerd. Oh, hi.
Hi. Yeah, I used to be just a little nerd, and I'm still a pretty big nerd, but I have rebranded, and you can find me at Lily Sparks on Instagram and Twitter. I am living a Bard Knock life that you can follow, playing many games and many streams and doing all the things. So yeah, that's Lily Sparks with an X. Also, they are not my sponsor. Well, they're the sponsor of this channel, which I play on, but I love Dungeon Fog. I use them all the time. So pure endorsement. They're awesome people, awesome program. Go for it. And yeah, find me at Lily Sparks. Excited to be a woo again.
Awesome, thank you. And then we're gonna hop over to Floppy Jalopy. Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Floppy Jalopy. You can find me pretty much everywhere under the same name, and just glad to be here.
Awesome, thank you. And then we're gonna hop over and say hello to BG Games Works. There we go. This is my Hi.
Hi, I'm HB. Black Girl Gameworks is my website. I am a writer, a GM, a player, editor, a sensitivity reader, all that fun stuff. And my Twitter handle is BG Gameworks. So.
Awesome, thank you. I'm Alice. I'm also White Rabbit Pig on Twitter. I am a DM for this channel and a few more coming in the future, which I'm excited for. Also, I do photography and stuff like that, so you can go check that out as well. Otherwise, I'm going to hand over to a very lovely Alpha. Oh, hi.
Well, hello there. Or should I say, oh, welcome, everybody. Listen, I started a tradition. It wouldn't be a game if I didn't say it. I am Kaya Gasson. I go on Twitter at Crit Charisma, and I will be your alpha for this evening for this tweaked Monster of the Week werewolf game that we have lovingly named In the Light of the Moon. So without me talking too much, let me just give y'all a quick recap what happened in our previous session. We started with our Dr. Pan Edwards, played by Alice. One of the older members of the pack attending an appointment with their therapist. Talks of war went through the fear at the power within them, the fear of the power within them, but the desire to move forward. Reese, our youngest pack member, had returned back to their old town to settle some legal hurdles against old violent bullies. And we were introduced to two new town members. One, Frankie, new to his knowledge and practice in the arcane, home on break from college to visit his family. And the other, a quiet farmer on the outskirts of town. Our farmer, Hendiriel, started his journey with a premonition. In it, they saw an entity ripping its way through the earth. One arm, then a second, then a third, and then a cacophony of arms. And their premonition shifted to a dark room where they saw multiple of these entities huddled around a glowing piece of machinery, perhaps a cellar or a boiler room, unclear. While absent in their vision, their hands slipped and sliced open on some barbed wire. Meanwhile, Pan was called away from the urgent care where they normally work to the main hospital to cover for staff shortages in the ER. Hindiriel, seeking treatment for his cut, was matched to Pan, who during her stitching listened to him divulge how he came by the injury and the vision he had. The supernatural touch in this town is known, as are the pack. She seemed the right person to talk to. Frankie, after receiving a text from his mother and a registered nurse at the hospital that she forgot her lunch, Frankie delivered it to her. Pan, upon bidding adieu to Hindiriel in waiting room, heard a scream coming from down the corridor. She advised everyone to remain calm and went to investigate. Closely followed by Hindiriel and Frankie, the scene they found was a bloody one. The room seemingly empty, with bloody handprints on the floor leading up the wall and into the ceiling. Closer looks revealed webbing. And after even more thought and searching, the group discovered an arachne, a spider-like creature made to appear humanoid, and its arms for legs was loose in the hospital. The hospital that now is without power and in lockdown mode. Even more frightening was the realization that each person bitten by the arachne would be infected and turned. What was once one monster to battle looked to be at least two. The group cleared the hospital, tasked another physician to seek more answers from the town's paranormal researchers, and headed to the boiler room, the location of Hindiriel's vision. The group engaged what was now 6 arachne in the boiler room, and after some failed attacks and Pan pulling forth her werewolf form, a text came through to Frankie. Decapitation. The weakness of the monster now known, the team still taking harm laid waste to the arachne, winning the day. But how did they get there? Who summoned them? And what's next? We'll go ahead and start off with Reese. What is Reese up to at the moment?
How much time would have passed since a day?
I would say probably a few days. I would say about 3 days had passed since you left and returned.
Okay, so 3 days since I returned.
Yeah, so
Okay.
This would probably be the day after all of the events went down.
Okay, so I probably hadn't heard about everything yet, I'd imagine. Maybe Pan gave me a bit of a download through text, but I was just overwhelmed with the stuff that I had been going through in my old town. So Reese is probably just processing that, spending some time with her parents, because I think that, like, after, we'll go into more detail about what she was doing, but yeah, spending some time with her parents to just like talk about her feelings as much as she is capable of, which is not super capable, but she does her best. And then would send Pan a little text with a thumbs up emoji and then a question mark. Thumbs down emoji, question mark.
Pan, if you'd like, you can absolutely reply to that text.
Like, Pam would have sent the most in-depth essay on what happened. Like, when it says open text for more, it would have been 3 or 4 of those. Because she doesn't do the shorthand, she doesn't do the emoji, she doesn't do, so she would have literally laid out detail for detail. It'd be like, yeah, this farmer came in, cut his hand. I told him not to cut his hand. He's done this before. I don't know why he did. Like, it would have kept going, but she would have, whether you read it all or not, she would have written everything.
Okay, well, in that case, having received that full recount, which I'm actually gonna say is just verbatim everything that Kaya just put out there, she would have reacted, because we have Apple phones, makes sense, reacted with a thumbs up. And then, diner emoji, question mark.
She probably put already there, because Pan got pretty hurt the last time, so in her head she's hungry now.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, seeing that Pan is there, I'd make my way over there.
All right, we'll say about this time in, let's see, probably a little later in the day, so it'd be the following day. So would you all be meeting for breakfast, lunch, dinner? What time do you think you're having this conversation? Morning? All right, so we're having a morning breakfast. We'll say it's probably about 9 a.m. Seems to be the average. You go in and you see your usual faces, usual haunts. I forgot what his name was. It's fine. Mark. We'll say Mark. Your
A crush on?
Your crush on.
I also forget his name.
It's totally cool. It's Mark now.
I have marked
No,
him.
it was Mike, because Mike was super chill. He's like, yo, Mike. Yeah, cool. That's coming back to me. Mike is working this morning. He greets you both. I assume Pan is already there, and so you can come in, and Mike will try to greet you and see if you wanted to where you wanted to sit, and you would spot Pan in the corner.
I want to sit with Pan.
All right. Yeah, she's in the corner. Can I get you anything? Do you want any water? Something?
Could you walk me over to the booth, please?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And like he'll grab his menu and like some silverware, and he'll like kind of like shyly walk you over and like
I'll just hover behind him.
Yeah, he'll like wipe the seat off. Like he doesn't have to, but he does it anyways. And he's like,
oh, that's nice.
Here you go.
As he's walking, I just want to like hover above him and follow and just appreciate the back of his head, and then just say, "Oh, thank you."
His back of the head is really nice. He's really like nicely coiffed his hair. Looks good today. He's showered, so like you could smell a little bit of the shampoo that he uses, and it's not Irish Spring, so it's not bad. So he puts effort in.
I appreciate all of this silently, and then just kind of shuffle into the booth with Pan and say, "Thanks, Mike. Have a nice day."
Yeah, and he'll be like, "You're welcome." And he'll go to walk away and realize he still has the menu, and he'll be and he'll set it down and then briskly walk off.
Pan looks a mess after what happened. She's wearing all her normal clothes, but you can see like a bandage across the side of like above her eye, forehead, something there. Her arm is bandaged. There's something. She looks tired, but she looks pretty happy. She's got about 3 or 4 plates of different breakfasts in front of her. I feel after she's been wounded and after everything that happened, if anything, her appetite just increases. And she sat there like hair half like on end because of the bandage and stuff like that. And she's like, Reese, look. And she sort of pushes like some of the plates and a fork towards it. It's like, can we get some more of this? And she sort of like looks towards Mike.
You didn't mention you got hurt that bad.
I'm okay.
I got hurt kind of bad, but like emotional hurt. But it's okay too. I need pancakes to help me be less hurt also.
And she looks kind of puts the fork in the top and pushes the plate of pancakes across to Reese, and is like then slides across, which is probably like hash browns or something. He's like, you want to talk about it?
I just like take the fork in the pancakes and lift it to my mouth. So I'm picturing the fork is skewing all 3 pancakes.
It's all the way through.
Yeah. So I just pick up like a popsicle of 3 pancakes and I just take a big chunk out of it. And I'm like, well, at my old town, some bad things happened and I stopped them from doing the bad things. But then I had to go there and talk to the people about the bad things, and that wasn't fun. But now the people who did the bad things are going to go to the bad place. So it's okay overall.
Totally get it. Like, any bad stuff in particular you want to talk about? Or is this more of a pancake eating session and discuss later?
They hurt a doggy friend of mine.
Oh,
I like dogs.
I like dogs. And sort of like points the fork towards her. He's like, are they dealt with, or do we need to go back?
They're dealt with by the legal system. But if the legal system doesn't hold them for too long, maybe one day we'll go back.
We'll go back. And she starts like cutting into this hash brown with just like a spoon because she's all out of forks.
I have the pancake stack and I've eaten in a circle around it to get the floppiest bits, and I'm just like, ow, 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 ow.
Every now and then, as soon as a plate starts to get empty, I think Pan looks towards Mike and is like, "Have another one, please."
Mike and Jay, y'all are in here almost every day. They know exactly. They are making sure you have a steady stream of pancakes. Like, it's almost like a bartender who notices that your drink is empty and supplies you with another one without you even asking. They literally see you like take your last bite of pancakes as they deliver 2 more plates of pancakes.
When Mike comes to pick up the plates, I'll I'll leave the syrup on the plate and I'll just take my pinky finger and just make the smallest little heart in the syrup, but then like smudge it away. And just
Does
like look at
Pan
him.
see this? Like, would Pan see this?
I would imagine that you would. I don't considering who Pan is, I don't think you would miss much.
She sort of stops and exchanges her own plate without taking her eyes off of Reese, and waits for Mike to go. He's like, what was that about?
Like syrup art. It's something I picked up over the past few days.
Syrup art. Like, any particular? She's trying not to grin, but there's like a slight tilt up at the side of her mouth. She's like, is there a reason you were doing it just then?
I gotta practice my art I only can do hearts so far, but I have to practice a lot. I'll do it again. See? Heart.
This is the one time I wish we had D&D mechanics I could make you roll a deception check.
I don't know. I have a feeling Pan wouldn't press it, but it's like, okay. And, and sort of like goes back to eating, but is just watching.
Mike definitely doesn't notice the artwork. He's a little busy, but like you do notice that every time he comes over, he does tend to at least flash you a smile.
Pan will not glare at him. It might come across as a glare, but it's just watching his every movement.
Yeah,
his
smile will drop if he notices the glare and be like,
But look at my smile.
look at your smile. Look at you go, Reese. I'm so proud.
Pan is really holding back by not going smile back. Like trying to resist anything like that.
So y'all share a, let's see. Y'all share a breakfast together. I am trying to keep up with the wild magic surges, even though there's not really a surge. I don't have like a lot of magic going on, so I've kind of created my own table, so this is gonna be a little weird. I need on a odds or evens, Reese and Pan.
Pretty odd.
All right,
let's go even then.
Okay. Even. Pan, for the next minute, due to your injuries, a little tired, every time you go to speak, you bark instead.
Yeah, I think she sort of does it the first few times, and it's not like a full bark, it's like a and reaches over for like the water or something and starts drinking out of it very quickly every time she thinks she's going to make a noise.
Yeah, it will pass. It will pass after a minute. It's a little disconcerting at the first. You're just like, and it's a good convincing bark. Like it's not just like, the wolf inside you is trying to talk, and just it really likes the pancakes. It seems.
Your wolf throat.
Wolf throat.
A little bit, yeah. Just some, and just like barks again. Like she sort of. And so goes back to her pancakes and tries to ignore it. If anyone looks at her while she does it, she's going to pretend to look out the window as if the dog has gone past or something.
As you bark, you notice down at the end of the counter, somebody is wiping it down, and you see Trevor and he just kind of looks over. He's like, hey guys, hey. He just kind of waves at y'all, and as he starts to kind of like get off course, Jay will be like, hey. Back, and he gets a little sidetracked as he gets pulled away.
He works here now.
He found a job, works at Jay's Diner.
Yes.
So you kind of just share this moment together. Is there anything else that y'all would like to talk about? Anything you'd like to get taking this rare moment?
And won't.
And
She's gonna try stay quiet.
Stay quiet.
Barking.
I'm
If she's
afraid
barking, she's just
Reese, noticing this, will try to fill the silence by making small talk. And to Reese, that's like,
sounds about right.
It's just the awkward silence.
feeds you some pancakes.
Yeah, it's just like
Mechanically, Pan, we will say that normally in Monster of the Week you would heal 1 harm per night, but because you're a werewolf you heal 2 harm, so I believe you're down to just 1 harm.
Yeah.
Since the battle. Reese, you have completely healed since your last encounters, and just discussing everything that happened. We'll kind of fade out from that, and we will kind of pop over to Alexa. So Alexa, you own and operate one of the one and only bookstore in the town. The bookstore lies city center. It shares a space with the Antiques and Oddities store. So you would have the bookstore on the bottom, and then there would be a second door next to it that leads up to some staircases, and on top is the Antiques and Oddities store that is owned by Gretchen, this old lady who you don't know how she climbs the stairs every day, but she does like a champ, and she loves her antiques and oddities.
I don't think I've ever seen her leave, so maybe she lives there. I don't know.
She might. Either that, or she's like secretly got an elevator in the back and she doesn't want anybody to know about. It's not up to code, but it works barely. And so you come in like you normally do. Have what kind of books does your store sell?
I think it's a used bookstore, so it's like a little of everything. Fiction, nonfiction. Not a lot of rare stuff, probably, just because, that costs money.
Yeah.
And paperbacks, hardcovers, like ancient encyclopedias, probably a set or two floating around, always missing like 1 volume, because who has a complete set of ancient encyclopedias?
Who has Britannica anymore when you have Google?
Exactly. Although I think they moved to a website, but little of everything.
Perfect. We'll say that probably, let's see, I know you have a specific move, but I would love to see if you would like to roll for that. Would you like to roll for a hunch?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead and roll hunch, and we're just gonna see how it happens. Because I could always fail. 8. Perfection. That is a success. For those of you who don't know, hunches is one of the moves that the Spooky Playbook in Monster of the Week has. I'll just go ahead and read this out. Hunches, when something bad is happening or just about to happen, somewhere that you aren't, roll plus sharp. On a 10+, you knew where you needed to go just in time to get there. On a 7 to 9, you get there late in time to intervene, but not prevent altogether. On a miss, you get there in time to be in trouble yourself. So as you're kind of going through your morning duties, you're going in, you've been doing this for years. You open up the shop, you're turning on the lights, you're making sure, the alarm's turned off, you're restocking any new books that you've gotten, turning on the wrist. And it's just kind of a little monotonous, but it's comforting in that your body tends to go a little bit more relaxed whenever you're doing it, because you don't have to think too much. And as you're doing it, describe what your hunch would probably feel like to you.
Probably like tingling in the back of the neck, like the little hairs on the back of your neck kind of standing up, and that kind of feeling like there is somebody staring right between your shoulder blades, kind of feeling.
So as you're stacking some books, you start to get that tense feeling, and you start to wonder if maybe you left the door open, probably maybe with some of the draft is coming in. You just start to rub it, and when you rub it, it just doesn't feel like cold. It almost feels like a sweat, and then it pulls away and it almost feels sticky, and for a second you wonder what's on your hand. Why is it sticky? And then it's not. And your body starts to go in a little bit of a panic mode, where almost like when your paranoia starts to freak up, to peak up, and you're going, it's a hunch. What's going on? And you'd heard about the commotion at the hospital the day before. And with the sticky, you get the sense that it's not over. There's something else happening. Your body tries to gain more information, tries to figure out what, like, times, trying to figure out where. You know that it's outside the city. You know it's soon, but not when. And usually when that happens, it feels like a few hours from now. Like you're like, it's not right now, but it's soon. And you start to look around, trying to figure out what your next move is going to be. And we will go ahead and fade out of that. Zillow, go ahead and describe your character for me.
She's short. She's got a real 90s look, complete with the long sleeve checkered overshirt and jeans. Got this short brown hair that she hasn't been feeling great lately, and so she's just been kind of running her hair through it, and that's how she walks out.
So I know that your character has been kind of looking for some jobs. You will say that you're out in the morning trying to walk down the city center, see if there's any businesses that have the now hiring signs in their windows. We will kind of going through, you're passing by a few of the shops, passed by Jay's Diner, where you thought you'd saw a for hire sign, but the other day, but it seems to have been taken down. And you keep walking past down the main street, and you see the antiques and oddities shop that's on top of the bookstore, and it says now hiring help.
She just walks through the door, looks to see if anybody's there.
Yeah, you walk through the door and you see a set of staircase that leads up, and you are met by a very old lady, and you're again trying to figure out how she made it up these steps. And she's kind of sitting there, and she's got these giant glasses on. Her hair is salt and peppered. She's very petite, and in her form, and very skinny. And she kind of looks up and, hello.
Kind of leans forward, talks a little louder. Hello. I heard you're looking for someone. The shop.
I am looking for somebody. This is a little hard for me these days, and I sometimes get these orders that I'll donate a couple of the things down to Alexa in the bookshop, just in case, some of the books, they could make her a little bit more money. And sometimes they're just really old like Nancy Drew books that somebody brings in, but they're not even the original copies, but you know, they might be good for like $10, but I am having difficulty carrying them down, and I had somebody helping me, and they've since moved, and you look like you could be strong. Ooh.
I packed a couple of books my day. See what we can do.
Excellent. I can give you 15 an hour, and if you're not feeling well, you just give me a call and we'll figure it out, okay? And I'm very happy because I have these books right here, and if you could just bring them down to Alexa, I think she should be in a shop. If you don't mind starting today, do you have anything better to do?
Nope. She leans back, leans down, grabs the books, gives it a see how the weight is.
She goes, oh, she like touches your arms. Oh, you'll do really well. All right, and then when you come back, we'll talk about some other things that you could do in the store to help me out. It's just these bones don't move like they used to, you know. And she gives you the books, and you Alexa's shop is downstairs. So I just read good strong back. Good strong back. And you can take them downstairs to Alexa. So Alexa, you are just kind of getting to the end of that hunch hitting you, and the implications as Zillow walks in the front door holding a box of books. It's not out of the ordinary. Every once in a while, Gretchen does send you some things to sell in the store, and you guys kind of split the profits if it's a good one. If it's not a good one, then she just tells you to keep it. Gretchen's a good one. There's probably cookies at the bottom of the books.
Excellent. I love cookies. So Alexa kind of looks like you're not Gretchen.
That was to. Oh, okay. Zillow. Alexa looks at Zillow and says, "You're not Gretchen."
Nope, but I'm working for her now. She said these were for you.
Oh,
Books.
thanks. She grabs the box. Come on in. I would show you around. It's a little small place. When'd you start? I don't remember seeing you at all.
About 5 minutes ago.
Oh, that sounds well like Gretchen.
Zillow, you would probably notice that Alexa's a little bit discombobulated, just coming out of the hunt, so she's a little disoriented, but you two are there together. We're gonna flash over to Pan and Reese at the diner. It's like trying to weave as many things as I can, get you all in the same room.
Like a spider, you would say?
Like a spider. Like perhaps I'm weaving some webs. I don't have a scarf, so I have to use whatever I have around me. Necklace. Pan and Reese, you kind of finish your breakfast, and Pan, you get a text on your phone from Frankie from the night before, just kind of checking in with you and seeing how you're okay. Lets you know that he's going to be heading back to college, but that something that Hen said was kind of sticking with him, and he was a little concerned about the fact that the Arachne had been summoned, and that we don't know where they came from, and just hopes you're okay, and hopes that that they had gotten all of them.
And Pan checks back, says, everything's okay, safe travels, the usual. And she turns back to Reese, and it's gonna say, so, as she's sort of scraping the last off of this plate. So there were these spider-like things. I don't really know exactly what they were, but they weren't nice. They weren't your average spider, but apparently they were summoned. Do you know anything about summoning?
No, I only know dogs. When I say come here, they usually come, but I'd imagine it's something like that.
What with spiders? Like the big... I mean...
The question is, who, like, dogs come to me when I say come because I've asserted my dominance, but who would assert dominance over spiders?
I mean, that's a very good question. And she sort of pauses for a moment and looks over, and she leans back in the booth of the chair, head tilts and looks over towards where Jay is. Like, Jay, like, just yelling.
Just sticks her Jay and her large form, like sticks her head out like the window where you give the food. I worked at a restaurant. I know what this is. The food window. I don't know.
Yeah.
And sticks her head out. What
summons a spider?
are we talking? Like actual spiders?
Big. She starts doing like gestures of the spines of the teeth, the ones that do this sort of thing, and gestures to where she's bandaged, and she's probably looking over the booth with Reese and trying to do little imitations.
Well, hold on, so I'm not yelling across the damn restaurant. She'll kind of like take off her apron and come out from the kitchen and go and sit next to the booth. So you're wondering what summons an arachne?
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's not really my area. That would probably be that'd be Aminata's area over at the library. She's the one that's got all the info. I know a little bit about the arachnes. I hadn't actually seen one around.
So she will summon the spiders, or she's got a book that's going to tell us how?
I'm saying that she would have the information, if anything.
Oh, great. Then
At the library?
At the library.
I kind of spend a lot of time with my parents the past day, and I don't want to see them there again.
It's alright, you don't have to see them.
Are there other book places?
I mean, of course there's book places. There's Alexa's that's right next door. I don't know if she carries anything on that.
We could go ask.
We'll try that
and avoid
first.
my parents.
All right, go for it. I mean,
can we take this to go? Please?
Like I don't automatically know you. And she like looks over at Mike and comes over, and Mike comes over with like 2 to-go boxes already piled with food. I swear, y'all are gonna eat me out of house and home.
But we are also going to protect the town and everyone in it. So it's kind of like a sponsorship deal.
She like rubs your head, Reese.
I practice my smile on her.
We're getting there. We're gonna have to work on just relaxing the cheeks. It's a good start. Oh boy. We'll work on it. We're getting there. But that's a good step. I'm proud of you.
Like, I like it.
I think it's very Reese, and I love it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you think Mike likes it? Just to get a general poll of everyone here and Trevor.
And she will raise an eyebrow, knowing exactly what you're trying to hide. She's old. She ain't dumb. And she'll be like, I don't know. I'm Switzerland. I don't share that information. But she'll look over and she'll be like, yeah, I think he likes it. And she'll stand up and go back to the kitchen, leaving y'all to your devices. Reese to continue practicing her smile.
As Reese practices her smile, Pan's opening up her satchel and putting all the food in her bag and sort of buttoning it back up again. Looks at Reese, who's smiling. He's like, when you're finished, it's a very lovely smile. Want to go to the bookshop?
Yeah.
Okay. Just smile on the way out. Smile. Like lingering. Not creepy, just lingering. There we go. Come on. And she sort of stands up, pulls her like ugly home knitted jumper down, and she sort of salutes Jay as she goes. There's a bit of a march on her and heads out, sort of watching Reese on the way through.
Carry on, Lieutenant. So y'all exit Jay's diner. I keep forgetting that Jay is from Alabama, and I keep trying to do a Brooklyn accent for her for some reason. Like she
Let it
be raised in the South. It's fine.
Alabama, New York accent.
Alabama, New
Grew
York.
up in both places.
Yeah, she grew up in Alabama, then she moved to Brooklyn, and now it kind of blends, and you get a little bit of both every now and then.
You gotta blend it. You gotta blend it.
You gotta be like a good sponge. You gotta blend.
It's just I'm personally Southern, and so I try to mask my accent as much as possible. So although y'all leave leave Jay's diner. I have things. Don't worry. I have a giant map that I spent 4 hours making.
The map.
I'm a map. All right. So you have your city center.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Thank
It
you.
looks like a real
Look at
map. It's like an actual town landscape.
I
I'm
pulled
so
out-
impressed.
I
could
pulled
get
out a
somewhere
ruler
with
for
that.
this. So you can notice up here at the top, Jay's Diner is right here. The bookstore is not very far. The Antiques and Oddities shop is here. The bookstore is going to be on the bottom. Alexa, what is your bookstore called? What would you name it? Quick on the spot. I want you to come up with something or you're fired.
Books and bits.
What?
Books and bits and bobs.
Books and bits
And bobs.
and bobs.
Important.
We call it triple B's for short.
Yeah.
Y'all head over. Y'all travel over to Triple B's. Alexa, Zillow, you stand in the center of the shop as Pan and Reese walk in. One of the wonderful things about this town, I love it so much, is that everybody who is a town member here, who works in the community and works to continue the community, knows about the pack, knows that Silver Hollow is built on this hotspot, and they do their very best to help the pack, and the pack do their very best to protect the community. It's very, very symbiotic relationship, something that you don't see very often in the world, and so everybody here loves each other. This is my world. So you do see two members of the pack walk into your stores as summoned by your hunch.
I think Pan's just looking around at all of the books in general, and you can hear him like muttering under her. It's just like some spiders, summoning magic. Like she's sort of going around.
Wait,
and
what?
having a
You're
look.
trying to summon? Please, no spiders in the bookstore. But
No. I'm not trying to. I'm trying to work out how. I'm trying to work out how the process happens so that I can then find out who is doing it. Not that anyone's doing it. Like, she pauses for a moment.
Super
She's
subtle.
not subtle
So
in any way.
subtle.
School assignment.
Says the doctor name. Yeah. I'm helping
school
Reese with
assignment.
a school
Gotcha.
assignment. Yeah.
Yeah. So how would one summon a spider if one were trying to summon a spider? Let's start with, and she like heads over to like a corner, pulls out like it's like this like section. It's like old dusty like random mythology and witchcraft books, most of which have probably been debunked because But, some of them might be real. You never know. She had some of the weird stuff. And so she, pulls them out and she, starts stacking them on the counter. You probably start there-ish.
And Zillow, you're just chilling there holding a box of books.
I
Suddenly craving pancakes.
Sudden craving pancakes.
Smell pancakes. Why do you smell like pancakes?
Always smell like pancakes.
That's
Pan.
very true.
They're her cakes.
Oh my god, is that why you named her Pan?
It's why pancakes are named pancakes.
Wait,
Your Pan's cakes.
Pan's pancakes, yeah.
is that why you named Pan Pan?
No, I'm just going to leave that with you so you can have a little bit of a conspiracy theory of your own.
I have geometry and trigonometry going on in my brain right now. So I'm like, pancakes, pancakes, pan batter.
Pan Banner's my sister. No, but I think Pan starts to look through the book. If they look really old and dusty, she takes out a pair of her surgical gloves.
They're probably not dusty.
To
Because
lift.
we keep them clean. They're old. They're not dusty.
If they look old, she doesn't want to break them, so she's lifting them up.
They smell strange for sure. They smell like old books. They might make you sneeze.
Pan loves that smell, but she will sneeze.
I feel like Reese is just Pan is here looking at the book and Reese is just hovering above, reading over her. You see that part?
Yeah.
You see that part?
Yeah. And what about that? As she turns the page, it's yeah, and that bit. They're both just awkwardly looking in this book. Do I see anything to do with spiders or summoning spiders or the big
Okay. I'm not coming up with things on the spot. I'm totally prepared.
You look like you're remembering things.
Yeah.
I am
really
absolutely
hard.
remembering.
I'm calling notes.
I am a whole bunch of notes. So many notes. So you start to go through these books. Triple B's is not really known for a lot of their old leather bound books that you would normally see, but every once in a while Gretchen gets a cool find, something that she thinks is just I'm gonna give this to Alexa, she could be spooky sometimes here. And or maybe even Gretchen on Christmas will just try and find something that's a little bit strange that she thinks Alexa will get a kick out of, and she'll be there with some a pot pie of some sort. And so you're looking through these books, and some of them aren't really anything spooky. They just might look really cool, maybe an old leather bound third or fourth edition of Moby Dick, which is really, really cool, that I think Alexa probably just held on to because she's I don't want to sell this. I want to keep this for my collection. You find a couple others that are just they looked cool, but they're literally just a leather bound book, so you can get a Barnes and Noble for $20. We'll say that Zillow starts to unbox a couple of the books that Gretchen had her bring down. And you start to get maybe some folk tales. And sometimes you don't get maybe most accurate information from folk tales, but they are steeped. Some of them, at least the deeper into the supernatural that you go as the years go by, are probably steeped more in truth, that have just tried to be made fiction. And you would, kind of stumble across a folktale that almost mimics an old book. You start flipping through, and a folktale almost mimics, the Little Miss Tuffet kind of nursery rhyme.
Fairy tales for spiders.
Yeah, I was yeah, I know fairy tales. I know this. We're good. We're good.
Through.
Yep. Just kind of summon through. So Zilly, you would probably see this. They're talking about spiders, and you would see, and you would know the fairy tale from childhood. Little Miss Muffet sat on eating their curds in the way, but it just doesn't follow what you would normally consider the story to go. Instead, it shows a little Miss Tuffet type, like looking like a female, but it's almost like it's been corrupted, like the story itself has been corrupted. And instead of them sitting down and having tea, they're rummaging in a forest. And you flip the page and you see, instead of them drinking tea, they're pouring something onto the ground. And then you flip the page and you start to see the spider that's not coming down from the web and sitting down next to her. You see arms start to protrude from the earth. And it kind of gives you an unsettling feeling, but you start to wonder if this might have something to do with what Alexa and Pan and Reese are talking about at the moment.
She kind of looks at the book. She's like, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Because that's not what I remember."
Do we see it?
Yeah. So you walk over and you kind of look over, or Zillow kind of turns the book and points it towards you, and you do see like the ties of what this could be to the old folktale, but it's been definitely corrupted in a way where you see a person going out into a clearing. You see them offering something into the ground, and you see that ground giving way to what you recognize as the Arachnes. And it gives you pause because you realize you did not find that area. You don't know who did that. And you kind of have a little bit of a lead in that you have the story. It's starting to peak a little something, but you're missing some information.
I think Pam walks over. She doesn't take the book off of Zillow. She goes, "Thank you," and then just looks as Zillow is holding it and sort of using her finger to go through. And I know it's a fairy tale, but is there anything I could recognize? Is there anything that's weirdly similar to our town in this book if it's been modified?
I wish I could make you roll for something.
Or if she doesn't, does it match anything in my hunch?
I will say, Alexa, you taking a glance at it as well. Pan, you definitely notice that the Arachne, the spider-like creature being summoned from the ground, does very much remind you of the Arachne creature. And Alexa, you start to look at it, and your body almost feels pulled to it, but you're standing still. And you start to picture that that clearing on the edge of town. You start to feel the pull, and you start to try and look at this, kind of old school line drawing that you would see in like older like pamphlets, and you see the shadow coming through the trees, and you get the sense that this is like the moon high in the sky and hitting this spot. And you start to try and think about different areas around the town, and you almost feel like pulled towards, don't worry, I have a map for this. Oh, let's see.
You need that as a shirt. I have a map for this.
I have a map for this. That'd be the best
Can someone
shirt
just
ever.
take my crappily drawn map and make it into a shirt that says I have a map for this? So I don't know how much you can see. So city center kind of goes out into what is considered a very woodsy area. These are supposed to be mountains. Don't judge me. So you have the main road coming out, and there's like a parking area. A lot of people will tend to go like on hikes and such. There's a big lake here that has a river that runs up into the mountains, and then you have a buttload of woods because you're out in the middle of nowhere. This is essentially like out of the middle of nowhere, Colorado, surrounded by mountains. And you feel pulled towards the northeast part of Silver Hollow, closer to grounds that aren't really traversed now that it's starting to get colder. But you still don't you don't fully understand exactly what's going on. You know something's happening there. You know something's happening when the moon is highest in the sky. And you feel like you could find the location. But you don't know. You feel like there's just one piece missing.
I think she pulls out her goes and like pull behind the desk, the counter, like pulls out like an honest to God almanac and like is flipping through it, like looking for when is the moon rise and when is
an old school almanac.
and like looking that stuff up, and it's like, okay, we've got about like 7 hours.
Yeah, so we'll say it's probably about 10:30. We'll just say
when
midnight.
would you like the moon? Yes.
Yep, we'll just say midnight. We'll just say midnight. You have until midnight.
we got about 14 hours to do whatever it is and find wherever this is gonna be.
Yeah.
Just a hunch.
Because you get the hunch that it's happened before and it's gonna happen again. And just out of curiosity, Zillow, what moves did you take in your playbook? Because I don't know what moves you took. Gimme. Oh, you're good. Take your time.
The sight, the power of heart, and what could go wrong.
So you have power of heart, what could go wrong, and what was the first one?
The sight.
The sight. Perfect. Oh, you took my mundane sensitive playbook. I like it. I made a playbook. Don't worry about me, y'all. So, ooh, let's play with that. Okay. So you reading, Zillow reading through this book, you are, let me see. You almost start to zone in a little bit on the pictures. And the world kind of goes monochromatic. It's no longer filled with colors, except for one thing. You start to see kind of like an iridescent orange glow rolling off the book. And you look out and you can see kind of like tendrils as it moves across the city. And it pulls you, it's almost drawing you out into the street as if guiding you towards some epicenter. What do you do?
Just kind of start following it, like not even knowing I'm moving. Still have the book open.
So you all standing there gathering this information, trying to process what all it means, knowing that you have but, what seems like plenty of time, but still not understanding fully what might be going on in the city. See Zillow, kind of their eyes go kind of white for a second. And they just start walking out the front door.
So I'm picturing Zillow is walking backwards for some reason, just because she's holding up the book. So I'm picturing her walking backwards. I'm picturing Pan like leaning forward to still read the book.
I'm moving with the book.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I'm like, wait, like, and I just walk out the door.
Probably.
And Reese will like. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go for it.
I was just gonna say Reese will like see this and just like stand behind Zillow and then just like hover over her and just be like,
Zillow's still trying to walk backwards and she can't.
Yeah. I'm like, where are you going?
You taking the book and just like taking a few steps back as your eyes kind of gloss over to more of the track, and you will eventually probably turn. I don't know how well you're gonna unless the book is like a mirror to you, which would be cool. You can sort of twist it however you want it. It's your power. And it leads you out into the city center, and not towards the location, but towards a different location on the other side of town, as you kind of see what looks like, they almost just look like footprints, but they glow to you as if they've been sprayed with like luminol. But instead of that blue or purple glow, it's just like an orange iridescence as it leads towards the other end of the city that is wooded as well, back towards where Hendiriel's farm is.
We should follow her.
She like, okay, hold on, give me a second. Like, she's like turning off the lights and turning the sign to closed, and locks the door behind her, and sends a text up to Gretchen, borrowing your new employee back soon.
She doesn't text you back because
I don't expect it.
she's 100% either A, can't read it, or B, has fallen asleep.
Question: as Pan is following Zillow out, you said there's like an offering that goes to the spider. Is there anything in like the drawing in this book, or can I see anything, or is it
you take a closer look at the picture, and you see that instead of a teapot, it's almost like a bowl, and it looks old and cracked in some places, and they're pouring out a dark liquid, but you are unsure what that liquid might be. You're afraid to find out what that liquid might be. You have a bad feeling of what that liquid might be.
Yeah, Pan, before like Alexa starts like closing up, like she pokes her head back in her. It's like, you got a bowl? It's like any bowl, just in case. It could be plastic, it could be a tub. Like, Pan is just thinking, if she can just do something, she's gonna need something.
Alexa walks back in.
Preferably not one you like.
Reese pulls out a little weed pipe fully packed from her pocket and just like,
no, you don't want that.
That's a different kind of bowl.
You don't want that used for what this is. And she sort
maybe
of
it'd make the
closes
spiders
Reese's.
more chill.
I mean, maybe, or we could. She sort of closes it. That's yours. You keep hold of that. I don't want to put and is tapping the book Zillow's holding as Zillow is walking away. Is tapping. It's like, I want this.
Couldn't you, like, I don't know, use one of your pancake boxes?
Yeah, that's about all you have access
like,
to at the
Pan
moment.
looks like it's really insulted by the fact it's like
Clutches the pearls
pancakes.
pancake boxes.
There's pancakes in these
Eat
boxes.
the pancakes, and then you've got a container.
I like to eat them in my own time.
That dark liquid could be syrup.
Well, that's what we're gonna call it from now on. Like, is to make it
Life
more
syrup.
life
Life
syrup.
Oh God.
We're gonna get a bowl and some life syrup, people.
I feel like we should get a shirt now that says we're all just pancakes in the end.
We're just pancakes in the end. The bowl of life syrup.
I mean, it's true.
And Pan's like, do you know what? Let's just. And I'm assuming Zillow's still moving, so
Sure
I'm gonna,
is.
like, keep going.
Sure
after
is, and so
Zillow.
is Reese is closely behind her.
Yeah.
You and Alexa are trying to figure out the bowl situation. You can open up, and if you don't want to eat your pancakes, there is like a little container filled of syrup.
Wait, we're gonna be walking past the diner, right?
No, you're gonna be walking away from the diner.
Oh crap.
So you can hear Pan behind you, like grumbling, like eating some of it, but also moving it into like one of the other boxes at the same time.
I would say that the only thing that you would have access to is either the container that you have, some coffee mugs that Alexa probably keeps in the shop to make herself some coffee, or like an old Tupperware that they might have in the like little fridge in the back. That's all I'd say. You probably have access to in a bookshop.
Yeah. Probably not more than the coffee mice, because I get the feeling she probably doesn't keep a fridge. She probably has like a little like thing if she brings her lunch, as opposed to going to the diner that's 3 doors down.
Yeah.
Why
I
do
just
you
might
do
take a coffee mug that says like #1 bookshop in it or something and start going out the door.
All right. As you get out the door, you notice that Zillow and Reese are pretty far down the street as you all went through the bull debacle of 2020. And
Do an awkward jog after them.
you jog.
It's at stake.
An awkward jog with a mug in one hand and a packet of pancakes in the other.
Somehow I imagine all of Pan's jogs are awkward.
It's basically how I run, which is like a child. So it's, yeah.
Is there something big and scary chasing me? I don't know.
So
Kind of
essentially,
big and scary.
you're gonna be traveling away from Jay's Diner. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this to Miss Lily to have digitized so that we have a Roll20 map, because I don't know how to do that. So you're walking away from Jay's Diner. You're going down this way. This is gonna take you towards the hospital, past the urgent care, to the Silver Hollow Apartments. And there's a more forest and river over here. You all recognize the Hollow Apartments as the where you dealt with the
That guy. That
yeah
went missing
right yep
with Trevor. And
Trevor and
Mhm.
Agent Emerald, where you all got the changeling. Was it a changeling? It might be series somewhere. I'm really good at my job, y'all. So you recognize that, and so you do start to notice that. So Zillow, you are essentially walking straight down the street away from Jay's Diner, towards this forest. It kind of leads you out into the clearing in the middle of these woods. Like, you're going in like a good, you're walking for like a good half hour before you finally get to a place where it stops being these footprints and starts being footprints and handprints around, and you start to see just broken earth of just these pockets that would almost like to, it would almost look like gopher holes if the gophers were like me-sized.
It's a big
Yeah.
Human
And
holes?
like human holes.
they're not like I don't know why I had to like do this.
They're
But-
not long.
They're not long. They're not like graves. They're
starfish.
yeah, they're circular, and then you can see that the earth has been moved out, and you see 3 holes, and then my 2 wolves definitely pick up the scent of blood, of human syrup. Human syrup? Life syrup? Life syrup.
Life syrup. Yeah. Is that, I smell life syrup.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's the life syrup hits your nose. I think that's going to be a good place to take a quick break.
Mhm.
Every-
Been
Everyone-
playing for a little over an hour.
yeah, perfect timing. So everyone go grab a drink, stretch, tell your pets you love them, and we'll be back in just a moment. Bye.
I was eating a cracker. Don't judge me. Thank you so much for sticking around. We are back from a break. We just left off with our group of investigators, mystery investigators, stumbling upon a scene from our previous episode that seems to be where our arachnids first spawned from the earth. They were led here by Zillow and her ability to have sight into the veil, leading them to this scene of open earth, life syrup, and now I also would like to amend something. We don't have until midnight, folks. We have until noon. You have an hour and a half. So the scene is now before you. What do you all do?
I mean, Reese would just immediately like peer into one of those holes and then like pull out a giant bottle of hand sanitizer and just like squirt it into the hole.
I think Pan's looking over at the side of Reese's. She's doing it, just looking and watching it.
Are you gonna set that on fire now?
No, it kills 99% of bacteria.
She takes it everywhere with her. It's just pretty handy.
It's also pretty flammable. I'm just saying. If there's something creepy in there, you can like flick a match down there now, and poof.
That's good to know. That's good to know.
I think Alexa was like, "Why did you tell her that?" Almost like just a look of.
She pulled out a Zippo.
I was like,
just holds her hand and pulls it back down as she's still looking.
Could I make like a Molotov cocktail of a Purell bottle?
Is there a way I can either sense something down there, whether it's smelling it, whether it's like seeing something move? Or...
I think this would be a great time for investigate a mystery.
It's a sharp, isn't it? Is it a sharp?
Sure is.
Yarr. I can do that. Oh, apparently I can't.
Reese?
I'm good. I read something, but I read it wrong, so I'm good.
I feel that on so many levels.
I'm normally good at sharp, but I got a 7 on this one.
You got a 7. Okay, that's still technically a success. So, of the following questions: what sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? What is being concealed here?
What is being concealed here? And where did it go?
You get 1 question.
Oh yeah, 1. Sorry, my internet went. What is being concealed here?
Okay. So you start to look around these open holes. You know, these things. And you start to notice a pattern, and they're coming out, and there's in a like a half crescent, and you see in the center what you've picked up as blood, and you start to you walk closer to that and move across your boot to kind of just see what's around it. And it's not dirt that's underneath it, but it's stone. And there are symbols on the stone that you don't recognize, but it was underneath. You kind of wiped away the blood and some of the dirt with your boot to then see these.
And I think she's sort of pushing it all aside and saying, huh. Looks over towards Alexa, and Zillow is like, weird symbols and stuff, is that your area? Can you do that? Like, she's thinking of the bookshop side of things, but...
Depends on the symbol?
She looks down at her feet. She's like, these?
I come over and take a look.
Let's see. You have Jinx,
Sight, and Hunches.
Sight and Hunches. I wouldn't say that they're that you know exactly what they are. They are familiar in the fact that you have kind of grown up around the sensitivity to the paranormal side. You've grown up around, you know, the veil and the power that lives within. It's given you the ability to get inklings when bad things are going to happen. You remember to take an umbrella when it's sun shining out, or you're able to, tell somebody to turn left instead of right and they avoid a car accident. And you look at these symbols and they don't necessarily, you haven't seen them exactly, but you get the sense that this is a summoning spell. They're kind of crass in how they're drawn. Obviously, the person who's doing it might not have done it too many times before. And you're rubbing away some more of the soot, and you notice like a pictogram of like a sun, and then it's like you also see a pictogram of the night, and like just something that just you can feel it calling from that stone, but the stone has been cracked. Where they summoned it has shattered whatever ritual item that was.
Huh. It's not a good sign.
Don't forget, this is the modern world. You can take pictures and text them to people.
And send emojis.
It's one of the things I always loved about it, where I'm like, I not saying that you're going to get anything out of it, because I'm going to make them roll on this end too to see what they know, but you can always try to bring in more knowledge, as this is what the hotspot of Silver Hollow means.
Phone a friend. Alpha, I have a question now that I have read the thing that I read wrong, but I read it right now. So, I get a +1 when knowingly investigating, pursuing, or fighting the breed of monster that caused your loss, because I'm the wronged.
Right.
But as you will recall, the breed of monster that caused my loss was a human.
Sure was.
So would I assume that a human did the summoning, and maybe I can like sniff around to get some clues about who the human is?
You know what? Okay, sure. That sounds like something cool. Yeah, go ahead and roll me whatever is that. But it should be.
I think I just get a +1, so
you just
I can
get a
investigate a
+1.
mystery. So a sharp.
Yeah,
roll.
just roll me a sharp roll.
Did it on roll 20. Wow. Wait, what?
That's not right.
That's not possible.
Oh, is it like a 4?
Well, 2d6 + 1, and she got a 2, so that's not possible.
Nope, sure isn't.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
What do we got?
An 8.
An 8. Okay. So you start to maneuver your way around this, and you get to the same scent of blood that hit you when he came in. And the human does start to permeate, but it smells wrong. It smells corrupted. And you have smelled this before. You smelt it. I'm trying to think. You have smelt a scent before. It's something that has definitely permeated from the woods whenever you're walking Jazzy. You've smelt it on different quadrants of the town. You can't pinpoint a person that belongs to it yet, because you don't know if you've seen them or not. But you start to realize that you've smelt this here, and you've smelt this thanks. And you have, in some of your encounters and some of the things that's been happening over the past couple months, that scent hasn't been too far behind, but you've always been focused on other things. It's very heavy here, and you get the sense that blood was left here by whatever summoned them. They used their own life syrup for this. ritual. And it's heavy here, and it was heavy on the walk. But outside of that, I will allow you to have that +1 forward when and we'll have another roll once we move on here, and I'll give you a +1 to that.
Cool.
We'll create our own roll.
So I'm picturing like Pan and Alexa are hovering over the stone, and then like Reese is just Slender Man style, like flitting from tree to tree and skulking around, and then just like skulks up next to them, and whatever they're saying, Reese will just interrupt it and said, "It smells familiar here. Whoever summoned these things spilt their own life syrup in order to do it. So maybe somebody who has, I mean, it seems like a lot of life syrup, so maybe somebody who has been wounded and perhaps largely wounded."
Wounded, or who would? Why? Like, and Pan's more looking down into this hole, looking at these drawings, looking back at Reese, and it's like, why? Like, not
To summon the things.
Yeah, but like, why would we summon the things? And it's more like she's talking to herself in half a way as well, and she starts walking around the hole itself. And whereabouts is the sun in the sky right now?
You are pushing 11 o'clock at this point. Took you a good minute to walk all the way out here. Following Zillow's
Zillow, are you okay? Is Zillow still like in it, out of it?
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
you
is she
okay?
like still moving through this whole thing? Like,
It's still
between the...
disappearing into the forest in the book.
I'm having a technical thing. Talks amongst yourselves.
Oh, okay. Zillow, are you okay? And Reese will sulk over to you and then bend down. Would you like a comforting smile? I've been practicing them.
She has. Pan looks over.
Like this, more a turn.
Who taught you how to smile, kid?
I feel
I
like
read
Pan
about it
at one point
online.
was like this. At some point, like this.
Am I doing it wrong?
Think of something that makes you happy. Like a kiss from a really cute person. Like a really good steak.
Like pancakes.
Like pancakes. Okay, we're getting better, closer. That's closer. That's less creepy, definitely.
Less sharky.
Too far. Come back.
Does anybody have an echo now? Are we good?
I think I had it was Zoom was I had it on Zoom and on Roll20, so I was hearing Reese in both places.
Got it. Okay, so I have no idea what just happened. So we were
checking on Zillow. Is Zillow still bouncing
out of it. Either way, Reese is currently smiling.
Once hitting this area, Zillow, your sight would have gone away. The monochromatic would have come back to the standard the colors that live around you in the world. As your
looks up from her book, and it's like Reese is the first thing she sees, smiling. It's like, oh, like, hi, where are we?
We're in a field. There's human-sized holes over there. Hey, Pan, did you get the number of Agent Emerald? Maybe Agent Emerald knows things. They always knew things.
And what was the name of the one who did all the tests for us as well?
Oh. Well, they ran a medical spectrum test. One of the physicians, one of the lab techs at your hospital ran the serum, but they cross-referenced whatever their findings were with Aminata and Malkin, who are the town's main kind of like researchers. Your town experts would be those two. Agent Emerald also could be a line if you wanted to hit them up. I would say you probably have their number, or if anything, Agent Emerald surreptitiously hacked into your phone through the menagerie conglomerate.
I mean, Pam would expect it if it had. So
Absolutely.
She wasn't like. I think if she does, she will either she will send a message to Agent Emerald then and ask, because if they are researching in creatures and stuff around.
Okay. So you're texting Agent Emerald?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna.
And if I can send pictures as well, she's gonna be sending.
Oh, perfect. I don't have to do their voice because it's a text.
I didn't think you wanted to do that.
I was trying to
do their voice.
I was gonna try and be like very posh, and I'd have to lower my register really, really low and just hope that they don't hate me. So you send a picture of everything?
Yeah, I send pictures and like, asking like, what is this? Do you know what it is? What can we do? It's all the standard stuff.
Tell them I say wavy emoji.
Well, they rolled.
I put the wavy
They rolled 2
emoji
sixes.
because I was taught.
Nice.
They rolled 2 6s, so they 100% know.
Great.
I don't have their stats, but I was like, I'm just gonna roll, and I think they're smart.
Crit.
And I crit. So Agent Emerald knows exactly what's going on here. He's like, it seems like you've stumbled upon some chaos bringers.
Well,
Good.
doesn't sound good.
I feel like Reese is like, sweet.
And Pan's like,
Still looks around like, seems right.
Yeah. The Chaos Bringers tend to go to a lot of Veil, where the Veil, places where the Veil is the weakest, those paranormal hotspots. The Silver Hollow is not the only one. It is one of the stronger ones, which is why the pack here is the strongest. And they tend to try and unleash as many entities into it to bring around chaos and pain, to disrupt the order, to disrupt the balance. They say this particular ritual brings forth arachnes, and they will continue to do so until either the town is laid waste in an effort to create like an army almost of just, it's like bringing in it's almost like biological warfare. You're bringing in something and you're infecting one to hope that it spreads to others to do mass damage. In this case, they brought in an arachne that once venom strikes another human, they turn into arachne, and thereby multiplying and having an army that can be controlled by a very small group of people. They are often corrupted beings. The Chaos Bringers either have made a very heavy bargain to attain power, or are the product of like essentially in a ritualistic sense, a human and a demon being bonded, and its product tends to be the spawn of these Chaos Bringers. That's why that blood smells a little bit tinged, smells corrupted. Agent Emerald says that these beings are difficult to eradicate. Their demon ancestry or their demon connection tends to allow them to hold on to this plane more efficiently than the average human. They don't have many weaknesses. To get rid of them, the demon side needs to be banished, and then the body needs to be burned.
Hand sanitizer is good for that.
Mm-hmm.
Hand sanitizers. Molotov cocktail, baby. Molotov cocktail. When in doubt, Purell and fire. We're not trying to.
Emerald is so smart.
Apparently so. It's just sort of like going through all the, because I imagine Agent Emerald would list so many.
I'm gonna attempt it, and you just get a voice message of, if you can get any samples, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah.
Samples of what?
Either of them. I
So
assume
back
either
in
the
space.
arachne, the demon,
Yeah.
Okay.
the life syrup,
I was like the dirt from these holes.
Yeah. Scooping up
scraping it
the-
into your
Um,
pancake box.
So first thing Reese is gonna do is the hole that the hand sanitizer was dumped in. She's just gonna go up to it and start like kicking dirt into it and
Okay.
be like, "This seems like a good first step to fill in these holes that they're
Sure.
coming out of."
You do that, the environment loves you partially before you pour Purell on it, and it kind of hurts it. But it smells better.
Is there a way to wash the blood off of this thing to get rid of it? That's been like almost like the
Hand
sacrifice to get it in place. Can I wash and hand sanitizer the rock, please?
You can attempt to wash it off. I think there's a stream somewhere a little bit of a distance off away from you if you wanted to. You, like Alexa, notice that it has been fractured, almost as if like whatever ritual had been drawn onto it has been spent.
So
Essentially,
clearly it's not going to do anything really.
I mean, who knows? If you feel like you'd want to clean it, I'm not going to take that from you.
I mean, Pan would. Pan would probably take the bottle of water out of her bag and just pour it over to clean the blood away. Also, in her head, she doesn't want anyone else touching it. So she's going to be sort of rinsing it off into the hole itself.
Okay. I'll say that it won't take you very much time. Right now, it's pushing about 11:15, and you know whatever's popping off is going to be popping off noon when the sun is highest and it is the warmest. And the reason I did that is because, as you recall, the arachnes are very drawn to warmth and not cold.
But it was burn them, and Agent Emerald said you have to burn them to get rid of.
Agent Emerald recommended burning the Chaos Bringer. The arachnes, you already know, their weakness is only one thing, and that is beheading.
Yeah. Decapitation. Okay.
So at noon, the arachnes are coming back, or whatever is coming back.
At noon, according to Alexa's hunch, which sounds so crazy when I say it, Alexa, give me a hunch. According to Alexa's hunch, and the pictogram from the book that Zillow had found, what was thought to be the moon highest in the sky, because we automatically think things happen at midnight, was the sun at the highest in the sky, summoning forth these arachnes. So you assume that more of those things that terrorize the hospital are about to be released onto this plane around noon.
We should make a bonfire and lure them if they like heat.
Gotcha. But it was also to the north of the city. This was Site A. All I can think of is Jurassic Park. Site B is where they made the dinos and then transported it to Isla Sorna.
So we know there's two sites that they're both going to come out of.
Right. So you know, like loosely, where the next site is, and I would probably say between Alexa and Zillow, both with their ability to kind of pierce the veil and what is around them, might be able to pick up another trail, but you would have to get there, and you still have to figure out how to banish the demon side of this Chaos Bringer if you want to get rid of it.
Is that in the book at all? The one that Zillow was walking away
It
from?
is. It's
Or
not,
do we
because
know a
it
priest?
it is a loose like kids folktale that you're able to draw some information from based solely off the fact that it seems to be one of these corrupted stories. I would say probably reaching out to one of your researchers. They would be able to actually, you know what? Roll me a d6 And tell me if the number is odd or even.
It is even. 4.
All right. As you're standing there, your phone pings, and you look at it, and it is Agent Emerald, and it is a voice file. And as you play it, it is clearly Latin. And underneath the voice file, it says, "Hope this helps."
And she's just like,
Wait, let it play.
and puts it like right next to Alexa's face. It's,
This sounds like an exorcism.
do we have to say this? Do I play it?
No, I
near
think
them?
playing
Like,
it's probably enough. Hopefully. Maybe?
So we need to find the Chaos Bringer and play this at them.
Yes.
But first, do we have to... It seems to me that the most important thing first is to protect the town from the immediate attack in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
And I'll I'll go over to Zillow and just kind of like hover over again and just be like, so can you do that thing again where you sense the thing and maybe help us find the other place?
And takes out the book, turns it over, shakes around. Maybe.
All right. So right now, the only thing that would be pinging is just the spot in general and the path that you took. I would say probably you would need to get closer to where you know the general area of Site B would be to see if you can pick up a new trail. And that would be north of town.
Question.
Go for it.
So this is kind of towards you and the rest of the group. Is this like we should split up? Some people guard this area whilst the other people, I know they always say don't split the party.
The actual Site A and Site B.
Yeah, Site A and Site B. Because if we get to Site B, they're all going to come up at both.
Pan, just roll me a generic sharp tech.
Generic sharp. 11.
Nice.
You get the sense that this site is dead.
Okay.
This site's been spent. The ritual's already been cast. Whatever was summoned, and you get the sense that these are the entities that you dealt with at the hospital.
Okay.
Knowing that, knowing that Alexa had her hunch, and where it's drawing her, you get, and the message from Frankie having the feeling that it's all going to happen again. You get the sense that perhaps the Chaos Bringer didn't have the desired effect of the original Arachnes because of the premonition assisting you all, the sense divine intervention, that now they're attempting to try and do it on even a greater scale at a different site on a ley line.
And sort of looks to everyone else as like, we've got half an hour to get to Site B. We need to do it quick.
Did any of you pack a car in your gear?
No. I don't think. I feel like Pan has a bike, not a car. If it actually comes down.
We're gonna have to get you like a Scooby machine.
Yeah.
A mystery machine.
I need a mystery machine.
I feel like I'm a werewolf, so I just werewolf run places if I need.
I werewolf run.
So I have a scent. I have the scent of a thing.
Sure do.
Can I follow that? Can I just can I shift? You know what? I'm just going to shift and do the werewolf thing, and werewolves smell better, which makes sense. So Reese is just standing in front of Zillow, hovering. Zillow says she doesn't pick anything up. So Reese backs up 2 steps and then just flips her hair back, and you all see her long, lanky body start to goes out sideways, and she turns into a very round, happy looking werewolf with a bunch of spots and gray fur. And she just just backs up, throws her hair back, shifts, and she just comes back and she's like
the first real smile that you've seen on Reese takes place in only their werewolf form as they are giddy and playful around. Mind you, the size of a car. They're quite large.
And she wants to sniff around and try and see if she can follow that scent somewhere.
You got it. Go ahead.
You think we can ride her like a pony?
I know. Timmy the Well starts barking.
Would Pan have done that before? Like, is this a thing Pan would have
I'm
done
sure.
before?
He could have.
Probably used to it.
Just because I loosely base this on Monster of the Week, and sometimes I just don't like it thematically for what it is. Just go ahead and roll me a weird check.
I am weird. Oh, good. I have a -1 to that. So 5, 2d6 -1. That is a 6.
Okay. So that is a failure. Go ahead and mark experience for that. You are overwhelmed at the moment. Your wolf form is overwhelmed by the scent of the corrupted blood and the want to cleanse this area, that it's not able to pick up a scent beyond where you are, because it's just a little bit too overwhelming. But you might, I would give you another chance after you've left the area. You all still have allies that you could call to give you a ride if you want to, or you can just start booking it towards what you know to be the loose location of Site B from Alexa's hunch.
I'm gonna just like go up to Pan and give her like a giant lick from,
like,
shin to shoulder. And then I'm gonna try and like duck my head under her for like
She's
riding.
like, yeah, I'm coming. And then she sort of like reaches up and starts climbing.
And she will attempt to do the same to Alexa and Zillow once Pan is on.
I will hold my hand down to the others. If I'm just like, it's fine. She doesn't
Sure.
bite too much.
I give you a one of these to help Zillow up onto it first.
All right. So we're riding.
We're riding Reese.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. It's just like Pan sort of looks back at the others like, you're gonna want to hold on.
Okay. All right. So we are doing this old school. We have 2 people riding a very interesting looking werewolf that is the size of what I would consider to be like a VW bug. Pan, are you also facing to keep up with Reese?
Oh no, Reese will Pan up first. So
Okay,
Pan's helping
all
keep
3
up.
of you. Fuck it, why not? Sure. Reese, you're strong. What's your tough? +2?
+1.
+1? That's fine.
They're small.
Sure. We'll go with it. Well, cool. I am super stoked. Are you gonna run through the town like this?
Yeah. I'm just like, head bopping away, tongue lolling out of the mouth, just real happy and like bouncing along. I feel like it's less of a run and more of a bounce as I just like propel myself forward.
The random visitors to the town that have absolutely no idea about this area are finding this.
They'll learn
a little bit. They're like probably attributing this to like cryptid kind of things where they're like, it's just, Sasquatch. Jay, of course, knows exactly what's going on and sees y'all run by, and she'll probably have a talk with y'all later.
Wave
and she's just like
the diner as we go.
She's just
it's a secret.
I feel Pan knows it is, but just
Hey man, time is of the essence.
Time is a ticking.
We'll say that even with Reese's run speed, it's still going to take you a good 25-30 minutes to at least get into the general area. As we get closer, Reese, go ahead and roll me another weird check.
All right. And I still have my advantage from the lovely viewers. Oh, but I rolled an 11, so we're good.
Perfect. As you start getting closer, running through the town and the clean air hitting you is almost like cleansing your palate of kind of the area that you had just left. And of course, the smell of pancakes is always helpful in your ventures.
I almost detoured.
You almost detoured. Thankfully, Pan, knowing you all too well, kind of gives you a little pull, a little tug on the ear. And as you enter closer to the woods to the northeast of the town, you start to pick up the scent a little bit more faint now. You're not picking up the scent of blood anymore. You're just picking up the scent of that corruption as it guides you to further into the woods. And Alexa and Zillow, I'll say that your sight probably starts to ping a little bit, not almost like echolocations, like it's almost hitting you in waves, as like the world around you just keeps going regular colorful and then monochromatic, and regular colorful monochromatic, as you get the sense that you're starting to reach something that is powerful. You're starting to reach another epicenter of power being pulled to a certain area. Do you continue this heavy jog straight at it, or did you want to?
I think knowing that I have 2 civilians with me, I'll kind of like pump the brakes a little bit and just like start to slow, and then like, kind of kneel down as a gesture of you can get off me now. And then we'll sort of just like run around in a circle around them until Pan gives me direction.
So if we're in the general vicinity, do we see anything? Because how close are we to the time right now?
You're approaching it. It is almost noon, and almost as if like you thinking like, what time is it? It almost feels like, when an explosion happens or an earthquake happens and you start to feel that kind of the shock wave kind of hit you. You feel that push you through the trees as you get the sense that something has just begun, and you have a direction. You know where it came from. Are we moving closer?
Yes.
Just trying to get a sense of where everybody's going, what everybody's mindset is.
Oh, we're on. I keep wanting to call you Moon, but that's not right. Reese is back.
I feel like Reese is just like, she can't communicate this because werewolf form, but I think she's very much in the like, I don't know how much these people can fight, and I don't know if I want to bring them into the middle of a fight.
Actually, you do see Alexa reach into her purse and pull out a 9mm.
Oh, good. Okay.
She
Reese feels better.
She's like coming in. She's like, I own a bookstore, but also
It's in a slightly sketchy
Zillow
area.
pulls out her knife, looks
it's
at Alexa's
super
gun and goes,
hollow. The whole place is sketchy. Sorry, Zillow, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
sorry. Zilla just pulls out her knife. She looks at Alexa with the guns like it's not good enough.
Brought a knife to a gun fight.
I'm going to those too. With the knife.
I'm going with her.
I
Perfect.
think Pan is running. It's almost like her past is kicking in, and her head is, we need to get these things before they get anywhere
Right.
near close to the town. But she hasn't changed form yet. She's not thinking. She's just, her little 5'3" self is currently tearing towards whatever this thing is.
Got
Okay,
it.
Reese is definitely following then.
Yeah.
Perfect. You all pause, trying to figure out, looking back at your mostly human comrades, trying to be like, are y'all wanting to like get in on this? And them just being like, hey, we're here to fuck shit up as well. And you all take off, and as you get closer, you can hear the chanting, and you can hear the sound of forms breaking earth as you enter into another clearing, the sun highest in the sky blaring down into this section as 3 more arachne arms reach through the earth, and a seemingly human person standing there chanting in a voice that is otherworldly, trying to bring forth these arachnes from another plane. And they definitely hear you, but y'all can react first. Monster of the Week does not have initiative, so whoever would like to go first with something that they would like to do right off the top of their head, go ahead and let me know what you'd like to do.
I want to bowl into anyone who's chanting.
Okay.
That's
Do you
what
want
I'm
to drop the 2 people on you, or do you just want to go in?
Oh no, I'm just going in. They have a good grip. Pan told them to hold on tight.
Okay.
I did.
You go through and you pounce on top of this being, and it almost feels like hitting a wall, but you do knock them off their footing a little bit as they stop chanting, and the arachnids that are coming forward are a little disjointed, as if they're half in, half out of our plane of existence, as the person turns to you and slashes down at you with the knife that they were carrying to complete the ritual, and you take 1 harm, reduced to 0 harm because of you being a werewolf, and you can attack them however you would like.
I would like to I'll like bowl into them. They slash at me, and that arm that they slash with, I'm just gonna like chop my jaws out.
Okay, roll to kick some ass.
Kick some ass. Is it plus tough? Yeah,
Sure is.
2d6 plus 1. Gonna roll with advantage because I
Go
have
for
one
it.
of those. So it is not a 7. It is going to be something much better than a 7.
Hopefully.
It is going to be a 7.
A 7. Okay.
The second 7 was way better than the first 7. You
Of
know.
course, it's completely different than the other
Different
7.
sevens.
Mhm.
So let's see. All right, so you do, and you're just slashing at it with your claw, with your one of your claws. So
Ow,
you
chompy.
do chompy. You do give them 2 harm. They deal you another 2 harm reduced. They deal you 2 harm reduced to 1 as
So I take a 1 total.
their nails elongate, bringing forth that corrupted portion of them as they slash at you, giving you a single harm. And they are aware of your presence, and you see as you slash through them that you got them, like a good chunk of them. You've hit creatures before, you've hit these beings before, and as you lay into them, you start to see the wounds start to just seal and heal up.
Cool. Would you say that they are a werewolf of us?
They are definitely aware something of you.
All right, that's my turn.
All right, so Reese is on top of this Chaos Bringer with Zillow and Alexa on the back. What are you two doing?
I'm gonna start shooting at the thing that's coming out of the ground.
Okay, you're going to take a shot at one of the arachnids. Go ahead and roll to kick some ass.
This is probably a bad idea because
I think that's what you have to roll when you have a weapon. That makes
yeah,
sense.
that sounds about right. That's gonna be fun. 6.
A 6. That is a fail.
It is.
Go ahead and mark experience.
Unless I spend a point of luck.
You can absolutely spend one of your, or you can either spend a point of luck, and don't forget you also have advantage. So you can re-roll if you'd like to, without spending a luck point if you didn't want to.
Oh, let's spin the luck point and see what happens.
Okay.
'Cause, you know, those are fun.
You go to aim at the arachne, and you feel your body shift as you are still astride young Reese and their wolf form, and you almost lose it. But something in the back of your mind that you try to stave off on a regular basis kind of pulls your body and refocuses your weapon as you fire and aim, and you hit the arachne right between the eyes as its brain just kind of flops open, thereby kind of decapitating it from here down, and one arachne is down with 2 more stretching out from the earth. Zilla, what are you doing?
Hanging on for dear life and slashing anything that comes near us.
Okay. All right. So would you like to also try and take a slash at the corrupted being in front of you?
Sure.
Or okay. Go ahead and roll kick some ass. So that's going to be 2d6 and add your tough modifier.
That's 7 + 1, so an 8.
8. That is a success. So you reach out and you with your knife. What does your knife do? Is that a one harm hand? Is it a big knife?
Yeah.
Hunting, nunchucks, sledgehammer, hunting rifle, pocket knife, or multi-tool. One harm hand, useful, small. Okay, so you reach out and you cut him right across the cheek, and he glares at you as he slashes at you, giving you with the knife, giving you one harm as well, being so close to him. So go ahead and mark a harm. And Alexa, I also want you to mark a harm as the Chaos Bringer, angry at you taking out one of its arachne, slices down at you as well. So you take one harm. Pan, what are you doing?
Pan remembers these creatures from the hospital, and it's almost like it sets in again. As she starts running, she changes into that werewolf form. As
Okay.
She does. It's that brown fur. She's nowhere near the same size as Reese. She's almost quite gangly and bizarre looking. She grows maybe a couple of inches. She doesn't get any bigger. But she's got this patch of fur where it's like when a scar grows back and the fur changes this white that goes from the back of her neck all the way around her front and down her back as she charges. And with those huge claws, she's jumping towards the closest arachnids and just aiming to swipe the head off.
Okay, go ahead and roll your precise strike,
Precise
which I assume
strike.
is what you're using.
I am, and that is, hang on, sharp. 9.
9, perfect. So that is a success. You rush forward and you describe how you're going to decapitate this arachne.
Yeah, she's just sort of where she left Reese. She's just done this continuous run past the person who's summoning, has just probably thrown herself onto the creature, remembering how it was in the hospital, and has just sliced it right off, trying to do it as almost surgically, like it's gone.
Got it. You kind of take your claws and in like a circular motion, go up to it like you're kind of grasping a bowling ball and just kind of circle it around, and just the head just goes shink and stays there for a second as it just slows off. And the arachne, half out of the ground, slumps dead, and you hear a no from the Chaos Bringer across as he focuses on you and kind of waves his hand, and energy slices across you, dealing you 2 harm, which I believe as a werewolf you have 1 armor, so that's reduced to 1 harm. And that would bring us back to Reese. Reese, what are you doing?
So seeing that the people who are on top of me are also being hurt now, Reese is like, I didn't want to bring civilians into this fight, but now they're fighting also. So, okay, I'm going to go berserk.
Okay.
And so when Reese goes berserk, just imagine like that fluffy ball of fur that she is, like as if she touched one of those static things. So all the fur just goes straight on end, and then her eyes get like even bigger and the tongue gets even more lolly. And she is going to try and bite this thing. I have a question. Is it human? The Chaos Bringer? I know they said they were a demon, but I wasn't sure if it was like they're a demon or they're connected to a demon or.
They are. So you know how Nephilim are considered human angels?
Mm-hmm.
These are human demons.
Okay.
So these were the product of ritual mating.
Okay.
For lack of that's a terrible phrase, but I'm like, it's
I
ritual
Yeah.
mating.
So my +1 ongoing from knowing my prey, does that also mean I get a +1 on attacks, or is it only when I'm like investigating them?
Yeah, attacks, sure.
Okay, awesome. I want to chomp him again.
Okay, you go and chomp down at him. Go ahead and roll, and I'll allow you to add a +1 to that attack for the
Sweet.
kick some
So
ass.
that'll be a +2. Are 2d6 plus
Jump
2.
like a pancake.
Okay, so that's an 8.
8. So you're able to get your teeth around them, but they too kind of because you're so close and you're dealing this damage right next to them, slash down at you with their claws, dealing you another 1 harm. So
No harm.
2
yet.
Reduced to 1, so you get 1 harm
Later,
because of Berserk. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oof. Berserk is crazy.
And after they do that, can I? So I protect someone. Is that something I do on someone else's turn, or is that an action?
I wouldn't say that we have you only have 1 action per turn.
Mhm.
I just wouldn't say that you can have 6 actions. But if you're
Yeah,
trying
yeah,
to barrel towards them and deal him harm, and at the same time kind of maneuver them away from the civilians on your back
Mhm.
as a form of protect
Yeah.
someone, I would allow that. Do you have a special move that allows you to automatically succeed in protecting someone?
Yeah.
Which is
never again.
Never again. Perfect.
I can choose. I roll as if I get a 10, but I just don't suffer little harm. I will suffer large harm.
Okay. And who are you protecting? Are you protecting?
Alexa has a gun, and Zillow, I think, looks a little younger, so I'm gonna protect Zillow.
Okay, so we'll say that in doing so, in maneuvering, you kind of buck Zillow off of your back, backwards as away from the harm as she kind of slides back, while Alexa, being a little bit more experienced, is just riding you like a rodeo bull. Brandishing a Glock.
Rodeo wolf.
Rodeo wolf.
Oh my god, the mental
tune in
image
next
of
week.
this is amazing. Just what?
Tune in next week for and so Zilla, I'll say that you were kind of jutted about 10 feet back, just kind of sliding away from the demon and their reach. So currently you are out of harm's way. And Alexa, you're still within melee of it, and Pan, you are also in melee with the Arachnes.
Okay.
So good job. Who's next? We'll go to Alexa. I think you were next.
Alexa grabs before Pan jumped. She grabbed Pan's phone and finds that voice message and starts playing it.
All right. You start playing that, and being so close to the entity already, to the Chaos Bringer already, kind of just looks at you and just starts swearing as you start to see ichor kind of like a black ichor is starting to drain from his nose and from his ears, as whatever is being said is just wreaking havoc on his body, as he just says, no, I can't fail, as just the color in his face just begins to drain. And you start to see those slashes that Reese had made earlier, where she knew she got him good, that were starting to heal, start to open up again, as whatever power, whatever ancestry was keeping him safe is draining slowly from his body, and you get the sense that he is vulnerable now. Good job. I'm not gonna have you roll for that, so you're just gonna be chilling. We'll go to Zillow. Zillow, you are 10 feet back as Reese bucked you off to try and keep you safe. What would you like to do?
Zilla runs straight into it.
Straight into it. Like a bamf. All right, so you're going to go in and try to stab the demon? The dude?
Weaker. Let's do it.
All right, go ahead and roll a kick some ass. And I think you also have a move. Hold on. don't forget that you have a move called the Power of Heart, that when fighting a monster, if you help someone, don't roll plus cool, you can automatically help as though you'd roll a 10, which means you can give a +1 to somebody else if you wanted to. And you also took the Trust Me. Is that what you took? Or what could go wrong? Whenever you charge into danger, when hedging your bets, hold 2. So you could use what could go wrong at this point because you're just charging into immediate danger because you're awesome. You can either inflict 1 harm, reduce someone else's harm suffered by 1, or take a +2 on a roll forward. So you can choose at this point to choose 1 or 2 of those. That's the awesome thing about that. It just automatically succeeds. You don't even have to roll. If you wanted, I can give you inflict +1 harm twice if you wanted to just choose it twice.
Let's do that.
You got it. So with like a precision that makes you a little nervous as to how this mundane is so precise with this small knife, you see them start to nick areas on this being, on this person, that with such precise, and then be able to dodge out of the way without taking any harm, that you look at them and go, they're a secret assassin. That damn person's a secret assassin. As this person is looking pretty rough as the audio continues to play, and his body kind of starts to shudder, and he almost feels like he's being pulled into 2 separate things. Pan, it is now your turn.
Are there any more of these arachnids still?
There is one more trying its hardest to pull from out of the ground, but it almost feels like it's still half trapped in another plane. But it's half of its body is out.
She's probably just going to be taking out those, so she's going to try. She's sort of going to try and run up behind if it's coming up through the ground, hook the claws through it, and rip it up through. So, but decapitating it at the same time.
Okay, you know what to roll. 8. That's a success.
8.
It's going to be kind of the same thing where you go through and just completely just behead this thing, and you see the Chaos Bringer just starting to convulse and just start to dart his eyes around, panicked as his mission seems to almost have failed, and he reaches up and he grasps a necklace that is hanging around his neck, and he begins to try and mutter something, and I'll give you all 1 more round to see if you can defeat this entity before something happens. Reese, we're back to you.
So seeing this happen, Reese is gonna kind of like sit back on her haunches a little bit, and no way to warn Alexa that this is happening, so it just happens.
Okay.
She shifts back into a human, so I just picture like Alexa's hanging on, and then all of a sudden the body just gets smaller and smaller, and maybe she falls, maybe she does whatever, I don't know, that's her thing. But as soon as Reese is human again, she's just gonna like reach into her bag, pull out that hand sanitizer and the Zippo, surge forward, squirt the hand sanitizer all over him, and then throw the Zippo at him.
Okay. Ooh. I'm gonna do a cool roll, an act under pressure roll.
Cool. That's the thing I do best.
Okay. Yeah, I want to see if you're literally able to just calmly turn back into a human, pull out a thing of Purell, and then light a Zippo, and an 8. Is that what we got?
8? Yeah, I'm debating using my advantage because this just seems like Reese's crowning moment. Or, you know what? I just remember that luck exists in this game. May I use a luck?
You sure can.
She got lucky.
So you... Sure. As the audio that Alexa is playing now from the ground, no longer on your back, comes to a close, you see almost the ichor that was leaking out of this person pooling at the ground around him. And just in time for essentially Reese to pull out a bottle of Purell and squirt and then light at the same time, creating this almost like flamethrower. Don't know if it's actually possible. I might have to test this out later. As it sears his skin, and it doesn't look like you would normally watch a human being burn. It just goes up almost like a wildfire as this person just screams out once and just disintegrates, and the pool of ichor seeps into the earth, and the forest goes dead quiet as the heat from the sun beams down at you, some a little harried than others. I think you've done it. You think you succeeded. You don't hear anything. There's no more arachnes pushing forward. And all that's left is the amulet that was around his neck and the ichor as it just burrows its way into the earth.
And sits still in werewolf form, and it's not like a dog sitting, it's like a human sitting, but like where her arms are longer, they just sort of lay there either side as she catches her breath back, probably surrounded by a mess of arachnids, but just sits there.
I think Alexa like lays there for a second and then like rolls to her feet, like reaches into her purse and pulls out a handkerchief and like looks at the amulet and kind of picks it up with the handkerchief, like kind of looks at it for a minute, trying to decide if this is something that we should let survive in this world or if we should smash the snot out of it.
You should send it to Agent Emerald. You would like them.
You would. Agent Emerald's pretty awesome. You take a look at the amulet and it looks like it's circular, and you see around it like almost like the rays of the sunshine, but it's only on the outer side, and the inside is just black. And you get it's lunar eclipse, that the moon itself is blocked out, and that only the light of the sun can push through. And you could absolutely, if you wanted, send it to Agent Emerald or town that you could also show it to, depending on. And as you take in the scene and the things that just happened, Zillow, your first day is the job of the antiques and oddity shop, suddenly on an adventure down to defeat a demon in Arachnes. Alexa, running a bookstore, pulling out a Glock in the middle of a forest. This is Silver Hollow, and this is where we're going to end tonight's session. Thank you all so much. Oh, Reese, what you got? Go ahead, go for it.
Reese just wants to go over to Pan in werewolf form and pull out a pancake and feed Wolf.
She
Wolf
just
Pan.
sits it like, thank you.
Oh my God.
I can see them
just
heading
looking
back
around.
still in full werewolf form back to the diner, and kind of just slide into the booth and just sit down. And probably with those barks and like tapping the table.
And probably Jay is mad at us.
All right, in the middle of the woods, surrounded by carnage, Reese feeds Pan in their werewolf form pancakes. Alexa tries to take in the scene. Zillow wonders why she even lives in this town.
to share some books, you know?
It's my first day of the
deliver
job.
a few books, that's it.
It's all downhill from here. That's what we'll close tonight's session.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
I wasn't even supposed to be here today.
I love it. Otherwise, everyone, please check out the links coming up in chat right now. We have the wonderful Discord. We do have a channel just for this game, and we would love to hear from you and what you thought. Also, if you want to get into this game or any of our other viewer games, go drop some on Twitter and come play with us. If you miss out on anything, you can head over to YouTube and check out all the wonderful things over there. A huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors who we couldn't do this without, in the form of Hero Forge. We're doing some more stuff with them very soon, so keep an eye out for that and their coloured minis. Also, Mage Hand Press. You can see their Fey Folio in action tomorrow, another one of our viewer games. The Deck of Many Things, and Humblewood, which is an incredibly wholesome game. Kind of got some like fluffy creatures in it, but not the same kind of thing. And last but certainly not least, our new sponsor, Dungeon Fog, that do some epic maps and stuff like that. Super excited to be working with them. Otherwise, let's head round and just say where we can find you on the internet and if you had a favorite bit. So we will start, as due, with Lily Sparks. Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Lily Sparks. I'm living a Bardnock life. You can follow on Instagram and Twitter at Lily Sparks with an X. My favorite part, it's always so hard to pick a favorite part though. I think probably my favorite part is, Alexa bookshop owner rummaging through her purse, pulls out a gun, and then Zillow behind her just like, shink. Like, I don't know how much Reese would see that because they were both on her back, but that was just a beautiful aesthetic and moment in my mind. So thank you so much, both of you. And thank you, Kaya, for running and letting me Purell blow up.
Rule of cool. I was like, sure.
And you made me roll cool for it, which is even cooler.
Just guessing. Yeah. Just do the best can.
Purell, hit us up.
Purell
sponsorship, yeah.
Listen, if you want to send us some hand sanitizer and some disinfectants,
those are valuable commodities right now.
In the light of the moon.
Please.
In the light of the moon, brought to you by Wash Your Fucking Hands.
It's been a constant theme.
Yep.
Awesome, thanp you. And then we're gonna hop down and say hello to the lovely Floppy Jalopy. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Floppy Jalopy. I really am everywhere. I want to say very much thank you to everyone. This was not just my first game live, but my first game ever in any capacity.
What?
And
that's amazing.
It's been so much fun. Thank you.
Yay.
And then we're going to hop over to BG Gameworks. Oh, hi.
Hi, I'm Misha B. I'm on Twitter as BG Gameworks or at my website, blackgirlgameworks.com. And I do want to put a shout out to More Seats at the Table, which is a bi-weekly newsletter that features games, Patreons, Kickstarters by people who are gender marginalized. And on this Trans Day of Visibility, if you want to submit it, go to I believe it's More Seats RPG is the Twitter handle, and they'll have some links to so you can sign up for the newsletter, or if you have a game yourself that you want to get highlighted, you can submit to our web form there.
Thank you. And before I sign us all off, let's say hello to our alpha.
Well, woo there, everybody. Oh man, that was a trip. That was a whole lot of fun. Thank you all so much for coming in. I am Kaya Gaston. You can find me on the Twitter sphere at Crit Charisma. Floppy Jalopy, you did amazing. I would have never known that this was your first time. You did so fantastic. Thanks for letting me kind of like take over your character a little bit to push along some things, but it was a lot of fun. You just rolled through it like a champ. Our Alexa, our Triple B books was probably pulling the Glock out of the bag was just so freaking hilarious to me. But like, as always, my favorite thing about being here is just having you all here and being able to play. Thank you all so much for putting your creativity and your hearts into this every week. I'm so happy to be called Alf every once in a while. It really strokes my ego. That's me. I hope to see you all next week. Better wash your hands.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm White Rabbit Pick. That's where you can find me on Twitter. I am a DM both for this channel and a few more coming up in future, which I'm excited about. Also, I have a Patreon because I'm also a photographer, so you can head over there and check that out. Some of my favorite bits is the imagery of Alexa and Zillow really having just met each other properly, riding the back of a giant Reese, and both one has a knife, one has a gun, just like, like that acknowledgement of, okay, so it's like this. So I love this game. Otherwise, keep evoking emotions, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Mwah.
Ooh.